I like that recap. Nice and short.
72時間で
This shot again.
タワーを下まで降りなければならない第3次試験の最中、ゴンたちは50時間ものペナルティを与えられてしまっていた。
Ha, I like that. Take off your shoes.
残りは10時間弱だったよな。
まあそうだが、
10時間も残ってんなら楽勝じゃねえかな。
甘いな。
There he comes.
3次試験の持ち時間は72時間もあるんだぞ。
There's a reason for that.
つまり平均72時間はかかるってことだ。その考えは甘々の甘ちゃんだな。じゃんけんで簡単に負けるような運のないやつが一緒じゃあな。
なんだと
Leorio, don't bite. Don't bite.
わざと賭けに負けるわ。勝てもしないじゃんけんを勝負にするわ。
やがましい。もうしないで土下座したお前に言われたくねえ。
At least he did it really quickly.
確かに俺は土下座したな。時間は1秒も食ってないぞ。お前は負けた上に50時間も無駄な時間を食わされたんだ。と責任感じたらどうだ？
You know?
とは言ってハンターの資質としてどうかね。
Relax, relax, relax.
こら、何やってんだ。
ごめんごめん。
Nice. The crack of dawn. Okay, a bit of reading. He's always doing the research, right? Learning. Huh. It's difficult for him to let his guard down, perhaps? Ugh.
眠れないのか。
Oh, this should be good.
別に俺2、3日寝なくても
Of course he can.
ここ窓がないからわかんないけど、もう朝だよな。
Ah, nice. How about it? Leor is gonna freak. He's doing it on purpose. Oh god. Yeah, it's clearly by design that they don't have any connection to the outside, like a window or anything of the sort.
魚の気持ちになるんだよ。魚の気持ち？そう。今ここに餌を落としてくれたらなって。貸して。すっげえ。
He's gonna hook someone.
こんな感じか。外れ。まあ見てなって。
Oh, he's gonna get him. His pants are gonna come off.
うまい。どうだ、釣れただろう。うん。
何笑ってんだよ。
いや別に。
また何か。
He took the bait.
なわけねえだろ。
Hisoka.
こやつら相当の手だれと見た。いずれ手合わせしたいものだ。
No, you don't. Especially not him. Ugh. It's those things. Ah, nice. I've done that so many times.
お前は負けた上に50時間も無駄な時間を食わされたんだ。嫉妬は責任を感じたらどうだ？
Ha. I'm loving these shots. At different points of the day. Hey. Gotta stay sharp. Leorio's ripped. Look at him. Is that breadsticks or? As expected. The devil is in the details, eh? Ha, the sniper. Bro, did I just see Monkey Dong? Transitions to Gon, eh?
よし。
長え1分だな、おい。
Ha. Ah. A bit of Takashi's castle. Maybe.
いい加減にしろよってめ
Might not be him this
待
time.
てよ、俺は丸をしたぜ。
嘘つきやがれ
レオリオごめん。
え
俺が間違って押しちゃったんだよ。
なんだそうかよ
待てよ。
え
きっちり謝ってもらおう。
I was gonna say apologize.
今のは納得できないからな。まるで俺だけが足引っ張ってるみたいな口利きじゃない。
I mean, you're not.
誰のせいで50時間も
Yeah, he's not gonna forget it.
足をさせられたと思ってるんだ。
He'll keep bringing it
致
up.
命的なミスしたのはお前さんの方だぜ。
Don't bite. Oh. Oh, okay.
よしなよ二人とも。俺が押し間違えたのが悪かったんだし。
Time's a ticking.
丸か×だってさ。
心の準備
Ah, simple, eh?
OK に決まってるぜてめえ
よせ詮索してる暇などない。
5人で行けるが長く困難な道。もう一つは3人しか行けないが短く簡単な道。長く困難な道はどんなに早くても攻略に45時間はかかります。
Okay, so it's not much of a choice then.
短く簡単な道はおよそ3分ほどでゴールに着きます。
どんな方法を使ってでも3人の中に残る
よく言うな。あの50時間がなきゃ長い方を選べたんだぞ。お前が責任取って残るっていうのが筋だろ。
ちょっと待って。
Chotomate.
俺
Here
は
it
丸
comes.
を押すよ。やっぱりみんなでせっかくここまで来たんだから5人で通過したい。
おいおい、一か八かもクソもさ、あと1時間もないんだぜ。
せっかくここまで来たんだ。こんなところでやられてたまるか。
Interesting.
先手必勝だ。
やはり仲間内で戦うしか
There might be a solution. I'm sure there's gotta be something.
トンバ来たねぞ
戦いに汚い綺麗も
It's not. It's not prize fighting. It's street rules.
戦う前に丸か×かを決めなきゃいけないだろ
Ooh, beautiful animation. Nice.
今すぐ決着をつけてやる
Gone?
それはこっちのセリフだぜ。
もう
He noticed something.
ないみたいだな。
Ugh. Yeah. He'll attack the.
残り3分です。
Barely.
死んでるぜ。死んで合格するより生きて再挑戦すればいいのに。
That's a good point.
残り1分です。
Oh god.
どうやら今ここに
No, no, no. Hisoka.
で終わりだな。
I think he's sure. He feels that. This should be interesting though. I like this approach. Gon figured something out.
第20号404番クラピカ、第21号99番キルア、
Killua.
第22号405番ゴン。
Hisoka felt it.
71時間
Aw,
59
Rapika.
分。
He's sad.
3人か。
それにしてもギリギリだったね。
もう手が豆だらけだ。
俺もだ
第23号
Nice.
43番レオリオ、第24号16番コンパ。
手は豆だらけだけど5人揃ってタワーを攻略
All
できた
five. Look at that.
ほんとゴンのおかげだな
Let's go, Gon. I mean, they had to hustle though. Still.
長く困難な道から入って壁に穴を開け、短くて簡単な道。
Oh, nice.
ったくあの場面でよく思いついたもんだ
武器を使えば壁が崩れることが分かったから
Oh.
ね。50分以上もかかっちゃったけど。
極限の精神状態で
Yeah, he can
打
think.
倒を迫られて、それをぶち壊す発想ができる。そこがお前のすごいところだ。
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Bro, don't show me Monkey Dong again. That
た
was.
とえ仲違いがあってもゴンは苦労した仲間と苦難を乗り越えた。しかし今日の友は明日の敵。個人対個人の厳しい戦いがこれから始まることをゴ
Oof.
ンはまだ知
Oh
る
God.
由もなかった。
Okay, episode 12. You know, I've got to say, this anime truly feels like my dessert out of my lineup at the moment. And, I'm not speaking of the tone of the anime itself, right? Because, of course, it's been clear. It's been really quite effectively established that, there's a lot of dark themes in this one, right? And I've spoken of the tonal dissonance, right? From time to time. And, that it always kind of peeks through. It always kind of comes through, and then it kind of, gets put back into its box, right? So, yeah, I'm excited about that for sure. But, I call it my dessert because it's just a fun experience, a really, really fun experience to just sit back and enjoy these characters. And I've got to say, at this point, I can firmly say that, I care a lot for this group of characters. I do. There's always this moment in a show, anything, live action, anime, any kind of story, that you feel that attachment all of a sudden, right? Of course, incredibly likable from the beginning, all of them mostly, or for the most part. But now, just seeing them together for this amount of time, and then, I'm so happy. I'm so happy I got that first half of the episode, right? I was speaking of, wanting to see them inside of that room and just doing things, talking to each other, right? Thinking about how things have played out and all that, right? And I think it did a great job of actually focusing on some of these more internal feelings as well, right? If you look at Leorio, you see that he is troubled, right? There's that one moment. It's one of the standout moments of the episode for me. It's him at night, and it's a shot from above, right? He's not able to fall asleep because there's a lot on his mind at that moment, right? And I'll get to all of that. There's a lot of good stuff to get into. But yeah, going back to my initial point, I really do care for this cast at this point. And you see that Gon truly cares for these people. They are important to him. These are friends. You see that he is loyal, right? That was a thing that was really, really clear up front. He's loyal. He's kind of prone to getting attached, being protective, right? He's a good dude. He's a good little dude to have in your corner, to have as a part of your traveling party. Truly, he is clutch. I feel like I'll be saying that a lot, Gon is clutch, right? It's clear that he's able to think outside of the box. The dude is just so composed under pressure in extreme situations, even, right? If you go back to Kurapika's internal monologue at that point, right? Just thinking about how impressive this young man is. And yeah, you see that Kurapika is really quite proud of Gon as well. And then Leorio is proud as well. But, both of them kind of showcase that in different manners. But the thing that's clear to see at this point are the bonds that these people have developed already. And of course, Gon being able to come up with this solution simply comes down to the fact that he simply refuses to pick the other option. He refused to leave two people behind. So, the moment he's decided that, now he's kind of dead set on finding a solution, an alternative, right? It is Trick Tower at the end of the day, and no one said anything about, you can't be doing these kind of things. You can't be thinking outside of the box. I think that is something they are looking for in hunters, right? People who are perceptive or intuitive, that are able to think outside of the box, but look at things from different angles, different perspectives. That's clearly an attribute that I'm sure most of these examiners really appreciate in these participants, in these rookies. But you see at the end there that there is a bit of misdirection, right? And I've noticed that. It's a bit of a thing that they do in this anime, or the writer tends to do in this anime, misdirection, a bit of unpredictability, perhaps, playing with expectations. And you see as the three of them step out, right? Killua, Gon, and Kurapika, you see that there's this massive smile on Gon's face. So you immediately know that, okay, it worked out. It worked out somehow. But then, you also get Kurapika, who looks a little bit sad, right? And of course, Killua is just, I don't know, he's usually not smiling, right? Outside of hanging out with Gon and just having a fun time. I mean, other than that, he usually does have that killer instinct, right? He's really quite composed and cold. And I'm speaking of Killua. But yeah, Gon's smile, but then you also have Kurapika's sadness, right? So there's a bit of misdirection there, because at one end, us audience knows, okay, if Gon's smiling, then it's fine, of course. But then, there is a slight bit of, I don't know, not concern, but just intrigue, because again, Kurapika is a little bit sad, right? But of course, Leorio and Tonpa both come out as well. And I love the piece of music that plays at that point, hopeful, triumphant. Really liked it. I'm really enjoying the music as well in this anime. And, I've got to say, Tonpa, I really enjoyed him. I think he really brought this interesting dynamic to this group. And I think his character is really effectively used in this cast dynamic to bring out certain situations. And of course, those situations kind of give us insight about our new characters here, right? So yeah, I honestly enjoyed him being a part of this group. And, he has been around for a few episodes as well. So I don't know, man. At this point, I can't say I hate Tonpa or anything. I don't think I've ever actually hated Tonpa. Yeah, he's a bit of an annoyance. He can be. But I don't know. I just kind of liked him in this group dynamic, right? And listen, in this specific case, a lot of the things he had to say to Leorio, you see here that he's given ammo. Legitimate ammo to use against Leorio because of, again, his behavior in the last test, right? And yeah, the thing is, us, the audience, can't completely disagree at this point, because I know the things he is saying, they do have a bit of truth. They do hold a bit of truth, don't they? Right? And he's imploring Leorio to take responsibility, and he's saying this out loud, of course, by design, so the others can kind of pick up on this as well, right? And he keeps bringing that up. He's really, really targeting Leorio at this point because, again, he's clever enough to pick up on the fact that Leorio is the one that he can really go after. And that was even before Leorio kind of slipped up and kind of fumbled in the last test, right? But the thing is, you see that the others are quite forgiving. You see Kurapika really quite forgiving. Gon doesn't bring it up, of course, that's to be expected. But, surprisingly, even Killua doesn't bring it up at all, really, inside of that room. I've got to say, that segment inside of that room, the time they spent together, how fun was that? I mean, I asked for this and I got it. And I think you need these types of moments, downtime, to kind of get attached to the characters a bit more, to get to, learn a bit more about them. I mean, I personally really enjoy these types of moments, downtime. And I do feel like it is important to get to know these characters outside of the main plot, seeing them as a part of their main story arc, their character progression. I think it is important to have these moments, right? I know some might call it filler, some might not find it most exciting, but I really like this, right? And, this kind of takes me back to some of my really fun memories of early One Piece. Just some of those really subtle moments of them just hanging out, right? Just downtime. Nothing, bombastic or exciting happening. It's just them on the sea, and they'll kind of, check in on them from time to time. And to me, those moments really helped in really caring for that crew, the Straw Hats. Listen, I've always said that I don't mind filler for that reason, right? I mean, I'm calling it filler because a lot of people refer to that kind of thing as filler, right? If I really like a character, if I really like a group dynamic, I'm just down to watch them do anything, really, right? Normal things, downtime. And for that reason, yeah, I really enjoyed the first half, right? Of course, the Gon and Killua friendship continues. It's just so goddamn cute and wholesome, isn't it? To see these young kids find each other, find someone that is like each other, right? I mean, Killua is truly even protective of Gon at this point, right? I'm not even sure if he's had friends before, and I'm speaking of Killua. I mean, this really could truly be his first friend, I think. I mean, that moment, Killua declares that he's planning on at least 2 of them going through. And, of course, the two of them includes Killua and Gon. That's like a given, right? It's just expected at this point. He's not even thinking of any other possibility. He's like, okay, there's essentially only one spot because me and Gon are going through, so you guys figure it out, right? I mean, actually, no. You see that he does his claw transformation thing, alters his body, and he steps in. He's ready to step in, and oh my God, the moment of panic on Kurapika's face. I felt that moment, his internal monologue at that moment, I felt that it was so expressive. I felt that it was a really crucial moment because I think in that moment, you can actually infer so many things that might be going through his head, even beyond the spoken dialogue that I am getting. To me, it kind of felt like, his fear from, I think, even the last episode is coming true, right? He said that thing, right? As long as Killua is on our side. And then almost immediately, they find themselves in a situation that Killua might actually turn on them. But, here you see how much he cares for Leorio as well, because, of course, all of them know that Tonpa and Leorio are essentially the bottom. Out of the 5 of them, yeah, they are the bottom 2. And, of course, Killua knows this. So to me, it kind of felt like he's thinking of these possibilities. Okay, do I fight and protect my friend Leorio? Because, yeah, I think it's fair to say that he considers him a friend at this point, for sure. And, this is someone who has lost everything. Every friend he had and just, people he knew. And I'm speaking of Kurapika and his people, right? His entire town being massacred and mutilated. So it's quite the situation for him to be in, right? To be potentially losing yet another friend, right? Or the possibility of losing yet another person he cares for, right? So do I jump in and protect Leorio if Killua goes after him, right? Or do I just stand back and protect my chance at the hunter license to preserve my goals, to preserve my chance at vengeance, right? I thought it was a fantastic scene. And I feel that once you're really engaged and into the storyline itself, and once you start caring for the characters, you can begin to infer a lot of these things, right? Based on a lot of the information that it's given to us over the span of these 12 episodes at this point. But thankfully, he didn't have to do any of that because, again, Gon is clutch, right? As all of this hell is breaking loose, he's able to dial in and think of that alternative. But, speaking of Gon's light bulb moment, I'm not sure if it's just an oversight, the actual construction of the building itself, or if it's an opportunity that's built in by design. But that being said, it did take close to 50 minutes to break it down. So, maybe it was just built normally, right? Because ultimately you only need 3 minutes on the quick path. So most of it is spent breaking through. And of course, Hisoka picked up on it. He felt it. He knew Gon's about to walk out. But yeah, even Hisoka was a little bit surprised at first to see just the 3 of them. And, of course, just by that, you can infer a few more things. Hisoka might be thinking, so Gon, he actually did make the choice to leave 2 of them behind, perhaps, right? It also gives other characters in the story insight. But of course, for dramatic purposes, you do get Leorio and Tonpa walk out as well a few moments later. And also, I've got to say, I really like that they touch up on some of these other participants, check in on them, right? Establish some of their personalities as well, right? Make sure us, the audience, remembers them. And, a lot of them look really quite unique. And I think that is by design as well, right? Because there's not that much screen time for them, but the unique character design, it really kind of just sets in, doesn't it? You've got Hanzo, easily recognizable, right? You just know, Hanzo. Then you've got his associate, the pinhead guy. And he's beginning to feel even more like an android, I suppose, the way he eats, right? Though, of course, if he's an android, does he really truly need to be eating? I don't know. Is it to keep up appearances? And, speaking of eating, I like that they even have that touch of showing us the food. And that's just a small thing that really helps ground it, doesn't it? Right? That they do get fed. And of course, our group inside of that room also gets fed. And it appears to be a simple tray of rations, right? I think it's bread, breadsticks. Essentially, they're being served the essentials that their body needs, I think. going back to some of the participants, Hanzo is a focus, isn't he? As one of the first few to come out as well. People like Hisoka are to be expected, right? I was expecting Hisoka to be one of the first few. It wasn't a shock at all that he was the first to walk out of there. But, to have Hanzo be in the spotlight as well, I thought, that was quite noticeable. And then it showed me a few others as well. But yeah, this serves as a reminder, doesn't it, for us, the audience, but even more so after the closing statements of the narrator about the upcoming one-on-one battle, or battles, sorry. So I'm not sure if that's the immediate next phase or if it's more so, in relation to Gon specifically, because it was kind of focused on Gon at that point, right? The narration. So yeah, let's see, right? They are going to be going up against some of these participants, some of these other rookies. So yeah, Gon's going to have to prepare himself for that. But, let's kind of shift the focus back to the first half, back inside of that room. And the passage of time, I've got to say, I really, really liked, the exterior shots of the tower itself from different angles, low angles, horizon shots, different times of the day, different lighting. Really enjoyed that. But inside, if you go back to Leorio being targeted by Tonpa at this point, it really must have stung Leorio at that point. Because he knows Tonpa has a leg to stand on this time. He knows that, yeah, he's right. I did cost my group 50 hours. I did. I fumbled. I messed up. And like I mentioned earlier, that scene of Leorio being up at night, not being able to fall asleep because he is quite troubled, I thought it did a good job of really fleshing out his character once again. His personality specifically, I think. That, yeah, he does think about these things. He's not able to just move on from it. Oh, I made a mistake. Okay, done. Let's move on. Right? Really humanizes him. I mean, that's been clear for some time now, right? He's the most human of the crew. And then, of course, that aspect of him taking some responsibility is also a part of his thought process at that point. So, there you see that there is a bit of setup for him potentially stepping aside once it gets to that point. Right? The setup is there for sure. The possibility is there for sure. But he does not step aside. He doesn't even think of it because he accepted that, okay, I messed up. I made a mistake. Yeah, that's on me. But his resolve holds strong because he knows in the long run, him potentially getting a hunter license could be just such a massive shift in his life. There is just so much good he could potentially do by getting that license. Right, so he accepted the mistake, but he knows, in the long run, I've got to stay strong. I've got to stay strong, and go after that license. So I thought it was a great episode for Leorio to get to know Leorio a bit more as well. And I've got to say, those moments that I got to see inside of that room, it feels like moments I should savor. Early days of the story of this anime, a lot of wholesome and fun moments. A lot of bonding, and to me, there's this distinct feeling of, okay, savor these moments, man. Like I said, it had me feeling nostalgic about early One Piece, right? The characters getting to know each other, doing fun things together, and through those experiences, learning about each other. I'm having so much fun. I'm enjoying this so much. I really am. And, there's that moment as Leorio is up at night. Or, it didn't really matter if it's night or day. They're in a position to get rest, but there's still this element of unease, right? That you're not completely able to rest up, especially being in there with so many other people as well, right? Especially different levels of energy, right? No one's matching Gon and Killua's energy. These two can go all day just, having fun, being competitive, trying new things, learning from each other. But, there is that moment as Leorio is in front of the television and he's got the headphones plugged in. He's got the blanket on him. That really, transported me back to a time that I used to do something really quite similar, right? If it was on the television instead of my laptop or something. And I'm speaking of staying up late at night, middle of the night, like 4 a.m., sometimes 5 a.m. even, to catch the live show from Japan. Right, from Saitama Super Arena or Yokohama Arena, Pride FC, You know, I'm a big MMA fan, big combat sports fan, and I have been for a long time, right? It goes all the way back in the glory days of Pride FC, the golden days, the golden era, right? Once upon a time, you know, some of you might not know this, but once upon a time, the MMA scene was all about Japan. They ruled combat sports at one point, even if UFC existed, right? I mean, they had K1 in its glory days and Pride FC in its glory days. And yeah, you know, I used to stay up to catch it live, right? So yeah, it was really lovely. It took me back to those feelings, those moments. And of course, you know, sometimes it was on my laptop and I had to kind of tap into some dodgy streams because, you know, at that point, you just didn't have access to live events, especially from Japan, right? You had to go through a lot of loops to even potentially buy a stream. I mean, I'm pretty sure you couldn't buy a stream back then. But yeah, now everything is at your fingertips, right? You can buy a stream, you can do anything. You can watch anything live. Yeah, just a bit of a tangent to, you know, give you a bit of insight on some of my own experiences. And, you know, a lot of people kind of build this love for Japan or, you know, just Japanese culture as well, you know, an appreciation for Japanese culture. And I know for a lot of people, it's because of anime, right? And that's certainly true for me as well. But, you know, before I was really into anime, yeah, it's my appreciation for Japan and Japanese culture came from following Pride FC for all those years. But yeah, I think that should do it for this one, folks. As you can tell, I enjoyed that. I really did. I'm really quite engaged at this point. I really am. You know, there's no issues of, okay, you know, I'm not, you know, it's kind of giving me problems engaging. I'm not able to get into some of these characters or storylines. No, it's not an issue. It's really not. I'm legitimately having a fun time. But yeah, if you enjoyed that, consider dropping a like, consider dropping some comments, give me your thoughts. If you are interested in early access to the next few episodes right now, or perhaps even full opacity or timer-based full length, consider checking out the Patreon page and potentially supporting the channel. If you are interested, the links are in the description and the pinned comment, also links to social media, if that's your thing. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me, folks, and thank you for your time, because time is precious. It really is. And I appreciate you sharing that time with me. And I do hope to see you again soon for the next one. Till then, take it easy.